What's up, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh, and you're watching Brand News.
Yo, what's good, and welcome back to another BNz WR Report. I'm Christopher Martin, and I'm going to be bringing you a couple of the recent stories from the many that we feature Monday through Friday in our News to Know section here at BrandNews.com about individuals and events making a positive difference around the globe. Yo, but before I go any further, you know how I do. I, and on behalf of Team BNz, want to thank you all for giving us awesome ideas and leads to great stories. We also want to thank you for the encouraging and inspiring messages you've been sending to us via email and to our Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace pages about the news we provide here at BrandNews.com. So without further ado, yo, let's report some. Our very first News to Know story comes from Charles M. Blow at the New York Times, and his headline reads, "In Honor of Teachers." Since it's back to school season across the country, Charles Blow wanted to acknowledge and celebrate a group that is often maligned, and they are teachers. Like so many others, it was a teacher who changed the direction of his life and to whom he is forever indebted. A Phi Delta Kappa Gallup poll released this week found that 76% of Americans believe that high-achieving high school students should later be recruited to become teachers. But how do we expect to entice the best and brightest to become teachers when we keep tearing the profession down? We take the people who so desperately want to make a difference that they enter into a field where they know they'll be overworked and underpaid. A March report by the McGraw-Hill Research Foundation and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development found that one of the differences between the United States and countries with high-performing school system was the teaching profession in the U.S. does not have the same kind of status it once did, nor does it compare with the status teachers enjoy in the world's best-performing economies. The report highlights show two examples of this diminished status. According to a 2005 National Education Association report, nearly 50% of new teachers leave the profession within 5 years of teaching. They cite poor working conditions and low pay as the chief reason. I commend Mr. Charles Blow for taking the time on such a platform to bring this to the attention of us all, and I suggest that we all take time to reassess our priorities on what's more important in life. Maybe we should start making multi-million-dollar music videos and movies about teachers. I'm just saying. Now on to our next story in the News to Know section here at BrandNews.com, and it's from writer Felicia Joy at BlackEnterprise.com, and it's 5 reasons every student should launch a startup business while in college. Now, she writes, while bumping your head may simply be a part of the growing process as an entrepreneur, doing it early on and learning from your mistakes is one of the smartest moves today's college student can make. Felicia's not saying that you need to make a career of entrepreneurship per se when you head back to school, but she believes you certainly need to experience it. And you can do that on your campus while the risks are extremely low and the rewards can be crazy high. One of her 5 is pay all or most of your expenses now. You see, a motivated and focused student can receive a good education almost anywhere, and the financial case weighs heavily in favor of attending a public college, university, or technical school. So she advises that you consider a state college or university. By going to a public institution, your annual fees will be much lower, and you can pay as you go each year. She's saying don't take student loans just because they're available, only take them if you need them and save all the excess money you can get. Don't think of a student loan, aka refund check, as a payday, because they're not. That's a debt that's only going to follow you around until you pay it off, and for lots of Americans that can be 10 to 20 years after they've graduated, effectively sentencing them to 2 mortgages if they decide to buy a house as well. Set yourself up for success by avoiding debt, even low interest debt. This also follows another article she has talking about how you can start a business for $200 or less. I honestly really implore you all to check this out, real talk. Now on to our Team BNZ story. And this time it's from yours truly, and it's about some friends and their friends that are officially a part of Brand News, well, kind of, sort of. The last journalist, Felicia Joy, was talking about school and the best place to make mistakes is in college. And with that in mind, our two talented buddies, Vanessa Baden and James Bland, are delivering a new comedy series about 6 students dealing with life and mistakes in college with a lot of laughs. The show is called Fail. Check this out.
How'd your day with everyone go?
Oh, horrible. I feel like more of an outcast than ever. Everyone was so different and there was something cool about everyone. It just wasn't me.
Well, if everyone was different, then maybe you're not all that different.
What do you mean?
If everyone was different from each other, then maybe you're not really an outcast. No one's like someone else.
Yeah, but they all have friends.
Well, what do you call this study group? If they weren't your friends, they wouldn't have tried to help you out. Hey, Joan.
Vanessa and I, we've been on a college tour for the past 2 weeks. We created Fail, which is a sitcom. It's a comedy about these 6 college students who form a study group and try to pass a class that they never really end up studying for. And so we've been on the road, hitting up colleges and universities in the state of Florida and Georgia, just getting the word out and letting them know about Fail and how they can view the episodes. Fail is a play on words. They're in college and they're trying not to fail this class, but because they get into these various misadventures every week, their actions are a fail, epic fail, as we like to say, you know, in pop culture.
Yeah.
So,
Being human.
Yeah, being human, right.
You know?
And you know, one thing that we're privy to as young people who are on Twitter and who are on Facebook is we understand that the word fail doesn't resonate for young people the same way it does for people who are a little bit older. You know, if somebody trips on a sidewalk nowadays, we say, ooh, fail. I think fail represents something more than just the actual product. Of course, we want people to laugh. We want them to be able to look at it as one of the great pieces of art of our time. But we also want it to represent the people. We want it to represent the power that young people have. One thing that we discussed even with the kids at FAMU today was that young people have always led movements, and we want this to be a movement. We want to show the world that when young people make a decision that they want to see something different, that they want to do something different or embody something different, that they have all the resources they need in their hands just by utilizing each other and each other's resources.
In addition, Vanessa and I really just wanted to give back to the college students to share our journey in the entertainment industry and our journey self-producing a web TV show. So hopefully, you know, students will be empowered and encouraged to do the same and to create your own opportunities in the pursuit of a dream.
For more information about this story and others, go to brandnews.com.
Yo, I'm giving y'all all a heads up. The show is crazy funny, y'all. Tell your friends. And the great thing I love about it, it reminds me so much of the shows A Different World and those Saturday morning shows like Saved by the Bell and Hang Time. I really miss those joints, and I'm glad we have the opportunity here to bring back a flavor that may just hopefully influence so many kids to know that school is the place to be. Now for our last but not least story. It's from the extra section at brandnews.com that features stories from college and university students, journalists from around the country. This particular one is from Kenny Bunch. Matter of fact, I dressed for the occasion, and I have to go to work anyway. But he's a student at Jackson State University, and his story in journal is Men, Let's Clean Ourselves Up. He starts off by saying that since he's been at Jackson State, the number of men dressing up and dressing decent has vastly improved. However, 2 weeks ago, while walking out of the student center, he saw a young man walking out of the bookstore. And with a do-rag on his head and a pacifier in his mouth, his mind went straight to the young man's future and was wondering, how does this man or young man choose or think he'll be able to get a job after graduating from college looking the way he did? Or Kenny even hoped he didn't show up to his next job interview with a pacifier in his mouth. This is just one of the examples how we, as young black college men, should be making improvements in our decorum and dress, Kenny says. If a company representative walks on the campus and sees a person with a baby chew toy in his mouth, what do you think that perception, or what do you think their perception would be of campus men? In his journal, Kenny actually gives us all some tips. First, he requests the young men pull their pants up. That is honestly not cool, and the light that it shines on all black men in society is not a good look. Kenny also adds some insider information that quality women don't like it either. Thanks, Kenny, but I wish you could have gave me that jewel earlier in life. Kenny reminded me of the saying, there's no such thing as a second first impression. Kenny's concern and journal is something all young men should seriously take into consideration, and I hope they will at least remember that there's a time and a place for everything. Please go to extra at brandnews.com and read the rest of Kenny's journal and other stories from all the other people that we feature from the colleges and universities around the world. Well, that's it for now, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. But before I go, I want to take this moment to think about and pray for the lives tragically lost on 9/11, and for everyone who is still living with the painful reminder of those that they've lost. We can also show appreciation for life and to God by giving a big hug to the loved ones that are still here in our lives. Thank you all, and God bless.